casually. And background casually is an autobiographical poem describing his childhood, school days, his stay abroad and his return home, his marriage and his changing of jobs. It's autobiographical poem speaking about his childhood days, the difficulties he underwent during the childhood, his school days, and his stay abroad, the difficulties he suffered during his stay abroad. And the return home, he returned home by working as a scrubber in a ship, and then his marriage and changing of jobs. And the poem actually depicts the failures as well as his achievements. And toward the end of the poem, we come to find his declaration. So I have made my commitments now. This is on to stay where I am. Actually, there are people who want him to return to Israel, he being a Jew. And his close relatives and friends are all packing up and going to Israel, leaving India. But Ezekiel comes to say that I have made my commitments now, and the one major commitment made by me is to stay where I am. The poem affirms his roots lie very deep in India. The poem affirms that he has got his roots very deep in India, and that he cannot get rid of his sense of being an Indian. He feels himself prideful as an Indian, saying that I have made my commitments. And the important commitment made by me is to stay where I am, to continue living as an Indian. And a very interesting poem written by Ezekiel is entitled Irani Restaurant Instructions. And very interesting poem it is. And this poem of Ezekiel speaks about the instructions he had found in his favorite Irani cafe in Mumbai. Ezekiel was born in Bombay, and he was in the habit of visiting an Irani cafe very near to his house. And while visiting the Irani cafe, he used to read the sentences written on the wall of the cafe. And it reads, no talking to cashier, no smoking, no fighting, no credit, no outside food, no sitting long, no talking loud, no spitting, no bargaining, no water to outsiders, no change, no telephone, no matchstick, no newspaper, no combing, no beef, no leg on chair, no hard liquor allowed, no address inquiry by order. And this is very interesting. It was written early in his career, before the arrival of the mobile phone and the modern technical apparatus. And therefore, so the instructions can be read like no talking to cashier, no need of talking with the cashier. Pay the money and leave the place. And the people in the cafe not permitted to smoke and disturb the people. And no permission to fight in the cafe. And no way to get credit from the cafe. And the people are not permitted to take food outside, no. They are not permitted to bring food from outside and to eat in the cafe. And it's a habit for people to come to have a tea and to sit for a long time. So there is the instruction, no sitting long. And in cafe normally we come to find people speaking loud and no speaking loud. And when the people go to wash their mouth and hand, so they may loudly spit, and the question, no spitting. And then no bargaining about the price. And sometimes people may get in for some drinking water. No drinking water provided for outsiders. And there may be people getting into the cafe for getting change for their big denomination of notes. No exchange. And no telephone, no permission for using telephone. And matchsticks are not provided in the cafe. No newspaper, and people are not permitted to read newspaper in the cafe. And no combing of hair, no beef, and no leg on chair. Don't put your leg on the chair. Very interesting instructions found in the Irani cafe are produced in his poem, The Irani Restaurant Instructions. And every poem of Nissim Ezekiel is a novel experience for the readers. Each poem of Ezekiel will become a new experience for the readers. And Ezekiel has produced a number of essays also. And a few popular essays are Ideas and Modern Poetry, Poetry as Knowledge, and he has also written an essay on Sri Aurobindo on poetry. And there are such questions like, should poetry be read to audience? And he had also made studies on Daruwala, another famous poet. And he had produced an essay on Torah and Gandhi, how Torah and Gandhi are related, in what way the American philosopher and thinker Torah is related to Mahatma Gandhi, and how normal is normality. And attacking Nepal, he had produced a very famous essay, Nepal's India and Mine. And it was written as a response to Nepal's book, An Area of Darkness. V.S. Nepal produced an essay called An Area of Darkness. Nepal never liked India, and he considered India as an area of darkness. When Nepal published his book An Area of Darkness, Ezekiel responded to the essay by writing the essay Nepal's India and Mine. And it was one question asked by UGC very recently. Nepal's India and Mine is essay written by whom? So it's a very popular essay written by Nissim Ezekiel in 1964. And these are the details about Nissim Ezekiel, and thank you.